Terrorists kill vigilantes, abduct 2 village heads in Beningwari. Court stops National Electricity Regulatory Commission from implementing new electricity tariff. Environmental advocacy, responsible journalism takes center stage as world celebrate World Press Freedom. And on the foreign scene, UK protesters block bars in an attempt to stop asylum seekers from being moved to a barge. Hello and welcome to Trust TV's news update. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Thanks for joining us. Now the news. Some terrorists have reportedly killed 8 vigilante members and 2 other persons in Kankangi and Nguwan-Mantija communities in Beningwari local government area of Kaduna State. The village heads of Kankangi and Kisaya villages under Kankangi ward were also abducted. A resident of the local government identified as Idris Khalid, who confirmed the incident, said the gun-wielding men invaded the villages at about early morning. Khalid added that the 2 victims in the Ungwan-Mantija community under Gayam ward were identified as Christopher Abubakar and Issa Gambo. One person has been killed by suspected repentant Boko Haram insurgents at Barka Dazua, a notorious black spot in Maiduguri, where hardened criminals, the Smith soldiers, prostitutes, drug dealers and other criminal elements carry out nefarious activities. The sad incident was recorded when attackers dressed in military uniforms and carrying dangerous weapons attacked the Ibrahim Taiwo police headquarters, housing the Area Command and divisional headquarters along Baga Road in Maiduguri. The attack was an attempt to free some of their members arrested during a drug raid on a black spot known as Katsuwanfara along Gubio Road. An eyewitness at Baga Road said the insurgents stormed Balakadazua and started displaying weapons, killing 1 person while several others escaped with injuries. After the attack, a joint task force was said to have led an operation to the area, arresting suspects who were at the scene of the crime at the time. The State Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Professor Usman Tar, confirmed the incident. According to him, the police and other security agencies are abreast of the security situation, assuring that normalcy will be restored. Here in the FCT, the administration has explained how owners of private cars can use them for taxi services without having to paint them. This is contrary to the belief that only owners of painted taxis are legally permitted to ply their trade in the nation's capital due to one-chance syndrome. Head of Operations, FCT Directorate of Road Traffic Service, DRTS, Deborah Osho, made this disclosure during clampdown on illegal taxi operators on Friday. The administration advised those interested in using their vehicles for commercial purposes to go through laid-down procedures. Some of the processes include proper registration of the private cars with relevant bodies and acquisition of unique identification and vehicle plate number for the vehicles. Osho said DRTS has a scheme called e-hailing, under which you have Uber and Bolt, among others. Over in Adamawa State, Governor Amadu Fintiri urged public office holders to exercise prudence in resource management and dedicate themselves to initiatives that advance society. Fintiri made these remarks during the swearing-in ceremony of a commissioner from Mayo Belwa into the State Executive Council. Following the ceremony, the Commissioner for Health, alongside the Health Commissioner, briefed the press on the measles outbreak in the state.
There was approval from the Executive Council to renovate the High Court's at the contract sum of 1,902,982,000 906 naira 97 kobo. This is for remodeling of the structure of the High Court.
In Mubi Node, we have a total 8 political wards affected, and in Gombe, 7 political wards. In Mubi Node, this affected about 23 settlements. In Gombe, 10 settlements. Mubi Node has recorded suspected cases of 131, and that of Gombe 177. And Mubi Node also recorded 23 deaths. As of today, the total is 23, and Gombe 19.
Over in Kano State, a federal high court has granted an interim order restraining National Electricity Regulatory Commission (NERC) from implementing or continuing to give effect to the April 2024 supplementary order to its multi-year tariff order for Kano Electricity Distribution Company, where the tariff was increased from 76.54 naira per kilowatt to 225 naira per kilowatt. Justice Abdullahi Muhammad Liman, who granted the order, also directed NERC and KETCO from taking any step howsoever described pending hearing and determination of a motion of notice filed by the applicants. NERC and KETCO are also restrained from intimidation or threatening to disconnect the applicants from electricity supply for non-acceptance of the April 2024 supplementary order pending hearing in the substantive suit. The court granted the order after hearing counsel for the applicants, Abubakar Balarabi Mahmood and Yahya Isa Abdul Karim, moved the motion ex parte supported by an affidavit sworn to by one engineer Aliyu Jibrin Abdullahi. The court ordered that the interim injunction be published in national dailies and fixed May 16 for hearing on the motion on notice. Still on court-related matters here in Abuja, Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court has set aside an order for the arrest of Edison Ehie, Chief of Staff to Rivers State Governor Similaye Fubara. Others also affected by the order are Jinjiri Bala, Happy Bennett, Progress Joseph, Adoke Oyagiri, and Chibuike Peter. Chief of Staff and others were sued before the court for alleged acts of terrorism. Shortly after the charge was filed against them, they were declared wanted by the court. But in an order of the court dated April 25, 2024, the court sets aside the order. According to Justice Nwite, the order was made without jurisdiction. The executive chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Olaolu Koyede, has described compliance with rules and regulations as the key to growth and development, stressing that the lack of it was at the root of corruption in the country. He made his disclosure in Abuja on Thursday when a delegation from the Compliance Institute Nigeria, led by its president, Partisan Bulega, paid him a courtesy visit at the corporate headquarters of the commission. According to him, the success of any process or procedure in any society is based on the issue of compliance. He also assured the Institute of EFCC's cooperation and collaboration in its programs and activities. Still staying with the EFCC, it has placed international schools charging tuition in dollars and other foreign currencies under surveillance as part of measures to reduce the pressure on the naira. The head, Media and Publicity, EFCC, Dele Oyewale, said the agency would clamp down on schools and other organizations charging foreign currencies. He reiterated that it was illegal for schools, hotels and firms operating in the country to charge for services in foreign currencies. He explained that the 7,000-man Special Task Force on Dollar Racketeers operating across the EFCC zonal commands was monitoring the schools and other organizations that might be involved in the illegality. Over in Lagos State, residents have voiced out their concerns over the recent increase in electricity tariffs by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC. They said unstable electricity supply and the high tariffs are significantly affecting their businesses. Victoria Tukolo reports as presented from our studio.
The recent increase of electricity tariffs in the country by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission is a significant concern to Lagos residents. In a chat with Trust Television, residents of Okwebi, Halen, says the epileptic power supply is affecting their business operation.
We don't have lights. You can see, look at my company now. We don't have lights. And it's really killing us. We don't have lights. So I don't know. Government should help us. Our leaders should help us to look for something to do because fine, you've increased it. Everybody agreed to pay to it. And still we're not enjoying the lights. Like my boss, he do recharge like 40K. Sometimes the 40K will not last up to 2 weeks.
Of course, I'm in band A, so I don't really know how much those who are in band A are paying. Although the people are complaining, I have friends who are in band A who are really complaining that it's not easy for them. But for us, we are still. If I recharge like 20,000 naira, at least it's able to take me like 3 weeks. If I use AC, it's able to take me like 2 to 3 weeks with the old tariff. But if we are eventually migrated to band A, I don't think that will go anywhere, even for a week.
Unmetered consumers also raise concern as they claim to now pay more estimated billings.
Before I normally pay, yes, maximum 35 to 40, but right now I'm paying up to 145,000 naira a month, and which is very bad. I don't even understand what is going on in this country. And then we are begging the government to take action on this. We can't continue like this, please. Many people are dying.
Normally, when you recharge like 5,000 naira, we have like 100 units. But today, when we recharge 5,000, we have 74 units. And the worst part of it is we have lights 1 day on, 1 day off, which is not even certain. So, but we still thank God for our prepaid. It's still rally there. If they don't bring lights, it still just remain there. So, nothing, no cost for now for that. But the light is not stable.
Residents are urging the federal government to address the ongoing hardship in the country instead of inflicting more pain by way of raising electricity tariff.
Still staying in the southwest, the Oyo State Council of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives has threatened to embark on an indefinite strike if their demands are not met in 14 working days. The council, in a letter addressed to Governor Seyi Makinde on Thursday, stated that the resolution was made after its State Executive Council meeting held on Tuesday on issues affecting the welfare and career progression of nurses working with the state government. Demands of the nurses border on shortage of staff, correction of the wrong notional date on promotion letters, and implementation of the adjusted consolidated health salary structure, among others. According to the nurses, the ultimatum, which began on May 2nd, will end on May 21, and the indefinite strike will commence on May 22nd, Wednesday midnight, if their demands are not met. Nigeria is experiencing a massive exodus of healthcare workers, including nurses and midwives. This is the news update on Trust TV. Still to come. Environmental advocacy, responsible journalism takes center stage as world celebrate World Press Freedom. More stories when we return. Please do stay with us. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us and just joining us the news update on Trust TV. Now a recap of our top stories. Terrorists kill vigilantes, abduct 2 village heads in Briningwari. We also told you that court stops National Electricity Regulatory Commission from implementing new tariff. The management of Landmark Resort Beach says it has initiated the refund process for customers impacted by the recent demolition of portions of its properties by the federal government. According to a statement posted on its X account on Friday by Landmark Africa, the parent company of Landmark Resort Beach, refunds are being facilitated through the Landmark Citizen app. While acknowledging the patience of their customers, the management advised that completion of the refund process may be delayed due to the high number of requests. A portion of Landmark Beach on Victoria Island, Lagos was demolished on Monday to accommodate the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. The Breeze Beach Club, Mami Chula and other beach businesses were also demolished in the process. Stakeholders have emphasized the urgent need for environmental advocacy in combating the global environmental crisis. During a joint ministerial briefing held in Abuja to commemorate World Press Freedom 2024, hosted by the Ministry of Information and National Orientation and the Ministry of Environment. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports that the forum also interrogated the nexus between freedom of the press and factual and responsible journalism as a panacea to uphold freedom and guarantee the safety of journalists.
The theme of the World Press Freedom Day celebration, a press for the planet, journalism in the face of environmental crisis, underscoring the crucial need for heightened advocacy towards a greener and safer climate as essential for human survival.
As we commemorate World Press Day Freedom, I call on all of us to reaffirm our commitment to the principles of a free and independent press, a sine qua non for effective climate journalism. Press freedom is indispensable to promote transparency, accountability, and social justice, which are critical to communicating the threats posed by climate crisis and making informed decisions to be more environmentally responsible.
We are paying more attention to politics, to the economy, and we are ignoring what is very, very important, and that's our environment. Everybody who lives in this country will have noticed that in the months of March and April, we experience very, very high temperature.
Conversely, the discussion revolved around the interconnection of factual and responsible journalism, emphasizing the imperative to ensure the freedom and safety of journalism practitioners amidst increasing hostilities from corrupt elements within the society.
We are all Nigerians. Nobody will come to this country and tell us how to behave. It is our responsibility to ensure that this country is safe, this country remains united, this country remains peaceful. So whatever you say or do, you also have to have at the back of your mind that you are reporting so that society can live. So responsible journalism is that which enables you to report factually, honestly, transparently, but also maintaining the integrity and the sanctity of your own country.
No effective climate action is possible without access to free and reliable scientific information. That's why this year's themes highlight the essential link between protecting freedom of expression, a public good, and preserving our planet.
The conference also advocates a synergy between stakeholders at both national and subnational levels to effectively tackle environmental challenges such as climate change, loss of biodiversity, and pollution, while pushing for improved commitment to guarantee the freedom and safety of journalists. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Away from Nigeria, President Joseph Boakai on Thursday signed an executive order to establish a long-awaited war crimes tribunal to provide justice for victims of Liberia's two civil wars, characterized by widespread massacres, torture, and sexual violence. Human rights groups have described how girls were subjected to gang rape while children were recruited to fight, often after witnessing the assassination of their parents. Legislation was passed by the House and Senate and signed by a majority of lawmakers, some of whom would be prosecuted. Successive civil wars killed around 250,000 people between 1989 and 2003. United Kingdom protesters on Friday blocked a bus which was believed to have arrived in Peckham, southern London, to embark asylum seekers bound for a controversial barge. The BB Stockholm barge, a 222-room, three-story boat, was chartered by the UK government last year. It is currently moored off Dorset, one of the UK's poorest coastline communities. The demonstrators slashed the tires of the bus before sitting on the ground. The bus that was eventually escorted without its anticipated passengers. The Home Office, the UK's Interior Ministry, has used the BB Stockholm barge to try to cut the cost of sheltering people seeking protection in the country. Police has, however, arrested 45 people of the protesters. Still in Britain, its ruling Conservatives lost a parliamentary seat to the main Labour opposition Friday as the country awaited local election results likely to pile more pressure on embattled leader Rishi Sunak. Labour seeks the constituency of Blackpool South in northwest of England. The latest by-election defeat for the Tories, and it appears on course to lose an upcoming general election. The vote, triggered by a lobbying scandal that saw the area's Conservative Member of Parliament resign, took place as voters cast ballots on Thursday in a mix of council, mayoral and other local contests across England. Labour's Chris Webb won with a 26.3% swing, the third largest margin from the Conservatives to Labour at a by-election since World War II. And in sports, Ibadan-based boxer Rashidi Dowu has been handed his deserved UBO African light heavyweight belt following a contentious bout in Accra that was declared a draw despite the Nigerian knocking out his Ghanaian foe. After dominating the fight in 2 rounds and sending his Ghanaian opponent Basti Sami to the canvas twice, Idowu wheeled away in victorious mood as medics anxiously tried to revive Basti. However, Ghanaian officials announced the fight a draw before the UBO upturned the result in favor of the Nigerian. The UBO belt was delivered in Nigeria by the Ghana Boxing Authority on April 17, 4 days after the controversial bout. Finally, in sports, a soccer politics dispute between Algeria and Morocco over a map of disputed Western Sahara territory on a team jersey will go to full appeal hearing at the Court of Arbitration for Sport. The Algerian Soccer Federation and USM Alger Club are challenging a decision by the Confederation of African Football (CAF) to let Moroccan club RS Berkane wear a team jersey that features a map of Morocco, which includes the region. The dispute has already affected the CAF Confederation Cup semi-final games between the two teams. A match of 21 April in Algiers did not go ahead after Berkane refused to wear replacement shirts provided by the home team after the Moroccans' uniforms were seized at the airport by Algerian authorities. CAF ruled that the Algerian club was in breach of competition rules and Berkane was awarded a 3-0 win by default. That's it for News Update at this hour. For more news, programs and documentaries, please do want to follow us on all our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Nwafo on behalf of the news production team. Thank you so much for joining us.